Listen, that's the sound of your heart. Lub-dub, lub-dub. It's dancing too.
Yo, today we will be doing interrogation 2. But before that, let me complete the Oblivion bit. This is supposed to be the last stage. It's quite reasonable, I guess.
Your own destination.
Why is it laggy though?
You are all done.
Let the dance begin.
I am the Legion.
Kinda laggy though.
The job is done. Shall we sort out the pay?
Alright, it should be perfect now, I guess.
You are all done. You forced me to do this! Death is your only destination.
I am the Legion.
Let your dance
Let me
begin.
heal.
The revelry is over. Rest in peace. I will take you home.
The revelry is over. Rest in peace. I will take you home. Why the game stuck? Yo. For real, let me restart it real quick. Wooden PC is always hard, bro. So, didn't happen for a few days and it happened again. Come on, faster. Just opening the game is taking me around 5 minutes. Dude. You know what? I'm not
Whenever
going to
I'm
do
lost
Oblivion
in
pit anymore.
reverie, you'll show up and pull me back to
I'll do it
reality.
lastly.
Hello,
I'm gonna
Chief.
do.
Welcome back.
I'm gonna do interrogation straight away. Alright, we'll start off with Summer A. Sumit. Kinda curious about Demon though. Yep, we'll start with Demon. The city council reached to, they offered a few pieces of evidence. Rescue! 30 days until the trial. Start. The door slams shut behind you. You sit in front of the notorious Eastside murderer. Demon! Demon raised his head and looked at you for a second. The faint aroma of blood lingered in the air. Perhaps his wound had not completely healed from the recent surgery. Demon Schilder, I have some things to ask you. So his name is Schilder. Demon raised his head again, as if sizing up prey with his eyes. Not long ago, this man had been on the run. It took a 60-hour chase to catch him, and after he was caught, the Bureau removed more than 300 grams of sharpnel from his body. Moreover, he was given a lethal dose of sedatives just 4 hours ago. Even so, he still exuded a terrifying presence. You could feel that demon was someone who could seriously hurt you. Threaten him is better. Think about your situation, demon. A lot of people want to kill you. Only the Bureau can protect you. You better cooperate.
Let them try.
Oh, this voice. Shoot! Demon didn't even bother to lift his head in the face of these threats. You knew Demon would be uncooperative. Someone warned you a few hours ago. These are all the files on Demon Schilder. Documents piled high on the desk before you. Across the desk, the commissioner beamed at you. Chief, Demon Schilder must be handed over to the city council. His execution is long overdue and should have been carried out 8 years ago. He averted justice 8 years ago and killed a dozen city councillors since. He is a crazed murderer. His execution will undoubtedly appease public anger. The commissioner paused, observing your reaction. After a while, he continued. We've arranged a trial for him in 30 days. We brought you these case files and evidence. You can investigate and interrogate Demon as you wish. We believe you can get to the bottom of things. The conversation continued for another while. Near the end, the commissioner stood up to say goodbye. Suddenly he seemed to remember something and took out a small box from his briefcase. Oh right, I almost forgot this. If Demon refuses to talk, show him this. Inside the box was a dainty bracelet. The city council provided all the information needed for this interrogation. Although it was unsettling that they were interfering and demanding to execute one of the bureau's sinners, they did present a strong case supported by evidence. Unless you uncover extenuating circumstances about the case, your superiors won't intervene. The only path awaiting Demon would be execution. We have to talk about your case. Demon squinted at the files in your hand.
The city council gave you these?
You sure? His voice dripped with contempt at the mention of the city council. Yes. Hearing her answer, Demon sneered coldly and stopped responding. Demon Shielder. Since NF-104, Demon has been accused as the accomplice in 12 murders. The following is a list of victims. Submit evidence. You picked up the first file. Former Special Task Force Vice Captain Finn fell from his apartment balcony on December 24th, 105. In addition to injuries sustained from his fall, there were also knife wounds all over his body. We presume that he was interrogated and tortured before his death. You did this? The case had ample evidence, witness testimonies, the recovered murder weapon, and even video footage of from the victim's home. All proved Demon was the murderer.
That's right.
True. Demon confessed so easily. Why did you kill him?
He owes me.
Man, his voice is just nice. Why did you torture him?
To extract info about my next prey. And also to make some money along the way.
Sounded like Demon harbored a deep grudge against Vice Captain Finn. Demon answered so bluntly that you couldn't think of what else to ask. So you picked up the next file. He answered so bluntly, right? Yeah. Councillor Do Liang's body was found in the east side sewage system on October 17th, 105. Fatal wound to the head, presumably caused by blunt force. The victim's skull was completely crushed, while his spine and ribs suffered multiple fractures. Did you do this?
Yes.
Demon gave another blunt answer. Did you hurt him to extract information about your next prey as well?
No. I just wanted him to die as painfully as possible.
He is my man. I like him. Shadows loomed over the demon's face, clouding his expression. Said Quick Handbroad, head of the City Council Security Department, was injured by an assailant on April 7th, 106 on East Side's Saint Avenue. When the ambulance arrived, it was pronounced dead at the scene. You stopped talking, those icy eyes already gave you the answer. You breezed through a dozen cases in a few minutes. Demon's answer was the same for each one. You understand why the city council pressed you so hard to hand over Demon. The 12 deceased were all city councillors, and all were brutally tortured before they died. Do you feel guilty when you commit murder?
Guilty? I was simply crushing some maggots.
Demon's voice was cold and indifferent. You still haven't figured out his motive. You couldn't imagine what he had gone through to reach his current state of mind. Ask about Demon's motive.
Revenge.
Revenge! His answer was crisp, heavy, and ominous, like a deadly undercurrent. You could tell he wasn't lying when he spat out that word. What did they do? This time, Demon did not answer you. There was a long pause. Demon didn't answer, so you picked up the last file. Counselor Abelschilder. His father, I guess? The first of Demon's victims. On July 6, 104, Demon killed him in full view of the public. Did you kill this person? You weren't expecting much from Demon's next answer. It would probably be another absent-minded confession. But things turned out differently from what you expected. When Demon heard the name Abel, his face changed. You suddenly noticed something. Abelschilder, Demon Schilder. The two shared the same surname. The dots were starting to connect. Demon Schilder profile from the FAC. Demon Schilder, formerly named Demon Boron, was born in Syndicate in NF95. Demon was adopted by Counselor Abelschilder and later became a captain of the Special Task Force under the FAC. Submit. Abel was your foster father? Demon wore a strange expression on his face. You couldn't tell if it was sadness or rage.
It's been 8 years. I didn't expect anyone in Eastside to still remember him.
8 years cannot erase murder.
Who knows? Eastsiders forget easily.
Wow. So you killed him.
That's right.
Why? He was your foster father. Were you exacting revenge on him too? The file stated that Demon had been a syndicate member as a teenager, but was later adopted by Abel. Thanks to Abel's support, Demon found a job at the FAC. Abel was clearly his savior. Questioned Demon's motive for murdering Abel. Demon closed his eyes. When he opened them again, the cold and ruthless expression returned.
8 years ago, Abel mutated into a corruptor after he was struck by a Mania weapon during a campaign speech.
Oh, so he didn't kill Abel.
At the time, I was the captain of the Special Task Force. Eliminating corruptors was my responsibility.
Oh, I see. Starting to connect. Demon's tone remained flat as if talking about something that had nothing to do with him. However, you acquired new information. The city council made no mention of Mania weapons. 8 years ago, East Side. Mania weapons. All these unrelated pieces of information were jumbling together. The truth was becoming harder and harder to decipher. There is no reason for the city council to withhold such important information. Do you have evidence or any relevant witnesses to prove your claim?
Listen.
Okay. Demon suddenly interrupted you.
Don't waste your time.
I must.
I'm not interested in playing this childish detective game of yours.
I am though. Demon's patience was wearing thin. You didn't know which question triggered him, but too many unresolved issues remained. The interrogation could not end yet. Why do you hate the city council? Shadows loomed over his gaunt, lowered face. Answer me. The Bureau is not affiliated with the city council. I am not your enemy. If you keep refusing to cooperate, I won't be able to help you even if I uncover extenuating circumstances about this case. 1 month from now, the city council will hold a secret trial. Once you are convicted, the city council will immediately take you away to be executed. A cold laugh echoed in the darkness. Demon glared at you, then closed his eyes. By now, the interrogation was basically a closed case. Demon confessed to the murders but refused to mention any further details. There wasn't any more information or evidence. Except for the commissioner's strange box. Inside the box is a dainty bracelet. A ceramic white kitten dangles from it. And the craftsmanship looks rough. This probably belongs to a young girl. Oh no, is that his daughter? Do you recognize this thing? Demon didn't open his eyes. You waited for a while, but Demon didn't respond. You opened the box and took out a bracelet which clinked crisply in your hand. Demon opened his eyes. Where? Why is this happening? The demon mumbled something quietly, but you couldn't hear clearly. What did you say?
Where did you find that?
A sense of indescribable dread filled the room. The ominous aura made your scalp feel numb. You subconsciously gave the answer. The city council. Okay, I'm scared. Demon's body suddenly stiffened and his face contorted like a terrifying beast.
Give me.
You shivered in fear. Your instinct told you to flee, but your legs went limp.
Give it to me!
There was a painful ripping sound. Torn strips of cloth fluttered and tinged the air with the scent of blood as demon lunged towards you. At the same time, you heard a soft metallic string. It was the sound of something sharp piercing the skin. Demon fell to the floor with a thud. Nightingale stood behind you, tranquilizer in hand. Group 1, please update the data. The subject needs twice the amount of sedatives as before. Group 2, take the subject back to his cell. As Nightingale spoke, guards lifted Demon onto a stretcher. Demon hadn't completely lost consciousness yet. He fixated his eyes on the bracelet in your hand, his pupils gradually dilating.
I want to kill.
Before he could finish, the guards carried him out of the interrogation room. This was how Demon's interrogation ended. Demon's reaction today only adds more mysteries to the case. Though we have enough evidence to prove him guilty, we still have no idea what his motives are. This is especially true considering his unusual reaction to the bracelet at the end. The sitting council claimed that he was a cold-blooded murderer psychopath. What you saw suggested otherwise. Resco! Demon! 15 days until the trial. So it's already been another 15 days. You went down the hall to Demon's cell. Several guards were waiting there. The evidence is ready. The suspect, Demon Shilder, is awake. You may start your interrogation. Open the cell door. You nodded to the staff, then took a deep breath as you faced the cell door. The cell door was already open, yet Demon wasn't inside. Chief, watch out! You sensed something was wrong. You spun around only to face Demon's glaring eyes. Before you could react, a searing pain enveloped your head. You blacked out and lost consciousness. What are you doing? Let go. Chief! Put down the gun. Let him pass. You opened your eyes to a peeling ceiling. Your arms and legs were so tightly bound that you could not move an inch. You groggily remembered what happened. You were planning to interrogate Demon in his cell, but he attacked you. Demon was still dozing off in his hair. It seemed like he was exhausted from running away while injured. Awake? Demon seemed to hear the sound of you struggling and opened his eyes. He brought you a glass of water. I'll drink it. You wanted to refuse, but your parched lips and your dry throat thirst for water. After that, Demon fell silent again. It didn't seem like he was going to explain what was going on. As you wriggled your body, you realized that your personal tracker was still on you. The Bureau would be able to track your location. Demon heard your movement and squinted at you. Don't move. Demon's eyes were bloodshot, his voice was threatening, but also reeked of indescribable exhaustion. He was in a fragile state. His usual threatening and ferocious demeanor had been stretched to the limit. Ask him why he kidnapped you. You've already achieved your goal and escaped from the Bureau. Why do you keep me around? You want to kill me? The dim light cast dark shadows over Demon. After a long silence, his dry and ominous voice spoke up again. Oh, that's too bad. I can hear his voice. I can spare you. Don't get in the way of my revenge, and I'll let you go. Revenge, it wasn't the first time Demon mentioned this word. Who do you want to take revenge upon? You don't need to know. A sudden noise from the water pipe in the corner interrupted Demon. Probably some alarm triggered. Demon stood up high on alert. Probably might be on their way to rescue you. The people you want to exact revenge on, are they the deceased city councilors? What did they do? Demon ignored you, walked across the room and opened the curtains. He peered out the window and quickly came back to you. Did they frame you? Shut up. Demon's facial muscles twitched slightly, but he didn't answer your question. Perhaps he was unsettled by the alarm and was planning to leave. You should stall some more time for your rescuers. Provoke Demon. Are you going to keep fleeing? It's been 8 years. You're killing more people and becoming more notorious. Yet nobody knows the truth. They only see you as a killer. They fear you, despise you. Look at the situation you're in now. You're hiding left and right, running out of options. How much of your plan for revenge has been realized? Shut up. Demon leaned down and grabbed you by the collar. You know nothing. Then tell me what you want to do. The anger that had been suppressed for 8 years poured out. They must pay for Abel's death. Are you saying that the city council was responsible for Abel's death? Isn't it obvious? 8 years ago, Abel entered the election to repeal I guess it's revealed. 8 years ago, Abel entered the election to reveal the West District Order Management regulations. Aside from those maggot counselors, who else had the motive to kill him? Demon's face contracted from the murderous rage that had built up for many years. They bribed one of my former subordinates to let thugs armed with Mania weapons into the venue. Abel turned into a corrupter, so I had no choice but to kill him. I had to kill my father. Demon's voice quivered when he uttered the word father. They scapegoated me for everything. The most ridiculous thing was that everyone believed the city council's words just because I'm from the syndicate. In that case, I could only use the syndicate's methods to resolve the problem. Demon inched up close to you, spitting out each word with relish. Everyone who had anything to do with this must die. Demon finally released the rage that he had nowhere to vent for 8 years. He gasped for air after spitting out everything in one breath. His bloodshot eyes were filled with rage but also helplessness. I can help you. Help me. Demon laughed coldly. How will you help me? Declare war on the city council. You are a sinner from the bureau. If what you said is true, I have the responsibility to protect you. Only by staying alive can you bring the cruel culprits to justice. If you keep playing like this, you'll die sooner or later. It's not too late to come back to the bureau with me. Demon raised his head and took a deep gulp of air, gradually calming down. 8 years ago, perhaps I would have believed you. But not anymore. I know you're just stalling time. I know you're just stalling for time to wait for help. I won't give you any more chances. You struggled to get up, trying to defend yourself. As you wriggled and writhed, the bracelet you wanted to use for questioning slipped out of your pocket and fell to the ground. Demon's pupils shrank abruptly. Though this was the second time he saw the bracelet, he still couldn't conceal how shaken he was by it. You remembered the question you wanted to ask during the interrogation, as well as the question that came up when you were browsing the files. If your guess was correct, the bracelet given to you by the city council belonged to her. Abel's biological daughter, Demon's sister. Say her name. Vera Sheldon. Demon looked at the bracelet on the ground in silence. Is she important to you? She is my family, my little sister. Demon's expression gave the answer you were looking for. You picked up the bracelet gently from the ground. He raised his hand as dim rays of light shone through the curtains. The white bracelet swayed slightly. There was a gentle look on his face that you've never seen before. Where is she? I don't know. I'm a fugitive while she's a counselor's daughter. I can't go meet her. As for the bracelet, the city council gave. I can only think of one explanation. They kidnapped Vera to use her to threaten me. Is that why you escaped the bureau despite your injuries? I guess Vera herself killed her father. Let's find it. How? Vera is the only family I have left. I must find her. Demon clutched the bracelet in his palm and returned to you. His expression was unprecedentedly calm. I will help you find her. This time Demon didn't refuse right away. The Bureau has sufficient manpower and a well-developed intelligence network. Finding Vera won't be difficult as long as you can provide the appropriate information. I'm not your enemy, Demon. Come back with me. You shouldn't shoulder all the burden by yourself. Demon didn't respond, he just stared at you quietly. Thankfully, the hostility had vanished from his eyes. After a long time, Demon responded, "Thank you." Demon walked to the window and opened the curtains. Blinding sunlight poured in from outside, and for a moment you couldn't open your eyes. I met people like you. None of them survived. Good people don't live long in this city, but murderers like me can survive until now. Demon opened the window. A grassy breeze diluted the musty odor in the room. This is a battle I must fight alone. Wait. Chotto mate. You have impressive men working for you. They will find you. Demon leaned on the windowsill. He covered his wound with one hand and gazed out the window. Was he just going to live like this? Is his current state of health? It would only be a matter of time before he got caught. You can't just live like this. The city council will send their troops to arrest you if you land in their hands. You hadn't noticed that the old wooden door had been open for some time. A man in a hat stood by the door. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your conversation. Who are you? Demon immediately became vigilant. He didn't notice the man's arrival either. It doesn't matter who I am. What matters is what I heard. It seems that in 15 days, a short trial will be held against you. I have a plan to break the game. Do you want to hear it? Do you too want to hear me? The man smiled faintly. He didn't wait for an answer, but took off his hat and walked in. I think you do. An unexpected man, claiming to be a member of the Night Agency, reveals a plan to you and Demon. Having second thoughts, Demon hesitates to give an answer. Then Nightingale arrives with forces and puts him down with an anesthesia shot. This time you make the decision for him. The MBCC raised security level once more, but you know that the measure is no longer necessary. Demon now cooperates with you. When did these things all happen? Especially Nightingale arrives. Anesthesia shot. Fresco! Fresco! The day of the trial draws near. trial is to be held by the city council with several factions present to witness it. The FAC will, the MBCC and the mysterious ninth agency will all be there. Everything about the investigation story is coming to an end. 10 minutes until the trial. You and Demon have entered the courtroom. The commissioner, the FAC official, and the city council's chief judge were already in their seats as high officials of various departments. They were all familiar faces to you. The man in the hat was also present, but he didn't seem to be welcome. Why is the ninth agency getting involved? This isn't your style. The man didn't respond to the commissioner but he tipped his hat to you in respect. Langley! Long time no see, Chief. Are you all prepared? 15 days ago you met him for the first time. The man claimed that the ninth agency he represented could help. At the time, he simply said he would provide extra evidence and information to help you win the case. To your surprise, the most mysterious spy agency in this city got personally involved and placed one of their own in the jury. Greet him. You are planning to chat before the trial, but the judge began striking the gavel. Seemed like some people couldn't wait. The judge was a bigwig in his 60s or 70s from the municipal court. He didn't give you a chance to chat and began to speak. Defendant Demon Childer, accused of killing 13 high officials including Ever Shilder and Do Liang, will be tried by this court. Court is in session. The strike of the gavel echoed throughout the courtroom. The judge, the commissioner, began to speak. The commissioner adjusted his spectacles. You recognized him. A month ago, it was the rising star from East Side's legal world who gave you the files and Vera's bracelet. Ladies and gentlemen, since this is not a regular court and everyone is familiar with this case, I will summarize the details in a short and concise manner. The commissioner waved the files in his hand. Taking the case of former Special Task Force Vice Captain Finn as an example, the fingerprints and the murder weapon can be perfectly matched. And the surveillance footage from the victims' homes recorded the entire crime. All the other cases had similar circumstances. He didn't accidentally leave behind evidence of his crimes. He flaunted them on purpose to spread fear. The crimes committed by Demon Shilder had an extremely egregious impact. The city council and indeed all the citizens of Eastside cannot accept him to be simply taken under MBCC custody. Oh no, I accidentally skipped it. Oh, I didn't. The commissioner paused, looked around, then gazed at you and Demon with his head raised. On behalf of the city council, I demand the MBCC to hand over Demon Shilder to be publicly executed. After the commissioner finished his cold statement, the entire room went silent. Everyone looked at you with malice. Frowning, Demon tried to speak several times, but couldn't bring himself to open his mouth. Before he could finally talk, the judge noticed his intentions. Defendant, it's not your turn to speak. Even though the commissioner said nothing else, and the jurors were all curious about what Demon had to say, the judge did not give Demon a chance to defend himself. Perhaps Demon's trial 8 years ago was also like this. Help Demon get a chance to speak. Was this the case 8 years ago too? The defendant doesn't even get a chance to speak. This doesn't seem like a proper trial. If you want the bureau to hand him over, we have to at least hear what he has to say. The judge frowned. He didn't expect you to talk back. After a while, he spoke again. Defendant Demon, what is your motive for killing the 13 victims? Under your pressure, the city council backed down. The judge took the initiative to question Demon. Demon's eyes showed a hint of panic. It was obvious that his past trauma had profound impact on him. Encourage him. You put a hand on his shoulder. Don't worry, I'll help you. Demon took a deep breath and shifted his gaze to the commissioner. 12 of them. Demon's voice was barely audible. What did you say? 8 years ago, the 12 of them murdered Abil. I killed them to exact revenge. Oh. The commissioner wiped the corner of his eyes somewhat dramatically and continued. Are you saying that it wasn't you who shot and killed Abel Schilder in Rose Hall 8 years ago, and that it were the 12 deceased whom you killed later? No, I was the one who shot Abel. Then did those 12 instruct you to kill Abel? The commissioner interrupted Demon several times, throwing in various theories to disrupt Demon's testimony. Object, Your Highness. Objection overruled. The commissioner is just doing his job. Demon glared at the judge but failed to change his mind. Smoke Lolo! Control your sinner! The court's malicious intent was disgusting. There was no hint of justice in this trial from beginning to end. Fortunately, you were well prepared. As long as you set the pace, you could break the game. Don't be distracted by his questions. Tell only necessary information. Demon looked at you and began to speak again. I shot Abel because he had already mutated into a corruptor and was attacking innocent civilians. I had no other choice. That is to say, you admit to shooting and killing Councillor Abel Schilder, your foster father, on July 6, 104. During his speech, thugs armed with Mania weapons burst into the hall and attacked indiscriminately. Abel was sick. Though he didn't die on the spot, he quickly mutated and lost his consciousness. I'm sorry, everyone. The commissioner interrupted the Demon again. Since we mentioned Abel Schilder, it's necessary to reiterate the details of that case. On such an important matter, the defendant's account will inevitably omit certain details which will mislead everyone's judgment. Allow me. The commissioner looked around. Nobody objected. He cleared his throat and began to speak. On the night of July 6, 104, the victim Abel was giving a campaign speech at Rose Hall when 4 thugs barged in and committed a massacre. Security personnel later shot and killed them. While the victim was being escorted to safety, Demon used 9mm pistol to shoot the victim 6 times in the head. The victim died on the spot. The murder weapon was recovered at the scene of the crime. Eyewitness testimonies, fingerprints, DNA testing, and bullet analysis all point to the fact that you're the killer, Demon Schuyler. The commissioner ended his long monologue with a smug smirk. I already said that Abel had turned into a corrupter and was attacking innocent civilians. It's true that according to the report, Abel Schuyler's body showed a high degree of mutation. The 4 thugs were also indeed armed with Mania weapons. However, 8 years ago, Mania weapons were extremely rare. In all of East Side, no agency other than the Special Task Force could access such dangerous weapons. Coincidentally, the defendant Demon was the captain of the Special Task Force at the time. Back then, nobody except for senior Special Task Force members had access to Mania weapons. Isn't that right? The commissioner looked over at the FAC official. The FAC official frowned silently for a while. Early Mania weapons were indeed accessible to the Special Task Force. After the incident, the FAC conducted an internal investigation which concluded that 4 Mania weapons were missing from the inventory. I think the truth is clear. Defendant Demon Schuyler stole the Mania weapons and gave them to the thugs. He also sent away Special Task Force members responsible for guarding the venue to allow the thugs to enter without hindrance. Where's the evidence? Demon interrupted the droning commissioner. All the case details comes from the Special Task Force internal testimonies. In the absence of other conclusive physical evidence, all testimonies are sufficient to make a conviction. I have some conclusive physical evidence. The fake document where Finn forged my signature is in room 1102 of the West End apartments. Wow, the Finn is a bullshit, bro. Fucking Finn. It's pointless of you to mention a random name and address like that. Haha, are all Eastside commissioners are as incompetent as you? The name belongs to the person you just mentioned, former Vice Captain Finn. Are we going to wait here for several hours for someone to fetch it? It won't take that long. Are you scared? Sweat drops formed on the commissioner's forehead. However, the bang of the gavel put an end to the confrontation. The evidence mentioned by the defendant had not been submitted to the court beforehand. Therefore, it cannot be used in the trial. The atmosphere in the courtroom suddenly dropped to the freezing point. When did you ever give me the chance to submit evidence? The rules of the courtroom haven't changed for 20 years. You should have read it up before you came, demon. I remember 8 years ago you sentenced me to death. That's right. I should have paid you a visit a long time ago. You have no more chances. The judge rejected your request to submit evidence outright, ending the fiery confrontation. Demon stopped arguing and just stared boldly at the judge. He no longer had any hope for a fair trial. Demon's attempts seemed to have failed, but you still had to try. Defend the demon. Abel was Demon's foster father. From what we know, they had a good relationship. Demon has no reason to kill him. On this point, we also have contradicting evidence. The commissioner spoke up again. We obtained the defendant's Demon Childer's transfer records from East Side Bank. On June 29, 104, Demon's private account received a huge payment from an anonymous account. The commissioner looked at the judge. Defendant Demon Childer, please explain where this payment came from. Demon kept silent without any intention to answer. This was a question you could not answer for Demon. You didn't know anything about it. Tell Demon not to give up. Don't give up. Don't you give up? Even if they don't accept our new evidence, there must be flaws with their existing evidence. Still have a chance. Under your coaxing, Demon's attitude seemed to thaw. Defendant, answer the question. The judge urged him to answer again. A look of annoyance and disgust flashed on Demon's face. I don't know. You don't know, so you cannot explain where this payment came from? I only have one personal account and my sister Vera took care of it. Are you saying that Vera instructed you to kill her biological father? Shut up. Demon immediately sprung up in anger. Vera was his last family member. He couldn't allow anyone to frame his sister like that. Thank goodness Miss Vera is under our care. Otherwise, I highly suspect you tried to hurt her too. The city council was finally showing its true colors. I knew it. You took Vera. Miss Vera has requested our protection since January 105. She is hiding from your murderous pursuit. Where is she? I'm sorry, but in the interest of Miss Vera's safety, she will not be testifying in person today. The commissioner took out a thin plastic bag. But before the trial began, we attained her testimony which proves all your crimes in the past 8 years. Impossible. Demon roared. Vera is my family, she couldn't possibly have. Watch your tongue, Demon Childer. The judge's voice was like a bucket of ice-cold water dousing our Demon's flames of rage. With Vera in their hands, Demon didn't dare to fight back. You realized that the city council's trump card was Vera. They were holding her hostage to coerce Demon into pleading guilty. The testimony states that you plotted to murder Counselor Abel Schuyler, defendant Demon. How do you plead? Demon's eyes were bloodshot and his tightly clenched jaw made a horrible grinding noise. Plead guilty. His words were engulfed by utter hatred and unwillingness. You are accused of murdering 12 city councillors. How do you plead? I plead guilty. You forced the victim, Vera Schilder, to take the blame for Abel's murder and tried to murder her every chance you got in the past 8 years. How do you plead? The trial was heading towards the worst possible outcome. If this went on, Demon would surely be doomed. You said you'd help him, you promised, but under the circumstance, My apologies, allow me to interrupt. I knew he was going to come. The man from the ninth agency suddenly spoke up. The judge's face went dark. He didn't expect someone to interrupt him at the most critical moment. I'd like to ask, Commissioner, when was this testimony recorded? The Commissioner looked at the judge in slight confusion. 2 days ago. The judge didn't dare hide that fact in front of the agent from the notorious ninth agency, who conducted the questioning and the transcription of the testimony. This was a matter of utmost importance, so I completed the entire procedure myself. Faced with the current situation, the seasoned judge grew impatient. He just wanted to answer the spy's question quickly and finish the trial. Oh, how strange. The man put on a teasing tone. 5 hours ago, my men raided a secret Blackwater outpost. You should know what I mean by Blackwater. We found quite a few corpses there. Just now we conducted DNA analysis and confirmed the identity of one of those bodies. Counselor Abel Schilder's daughter, Vera Schilder. Oh my god. He died? What the fuck? Hearing this, Demon stiffened and his eyes became listless. Oh, my prediction was wrong. Vera is so pitiful, man. His teeth chattered but he was unable to say a single word. That's impossible. I advise you not to lie about her date of death. Miss Vera has been dead for at least 6 years. No, that's not. Are you trying to say that you are unaware of Miss Vera's death, or that Blackwater concealed the information? Who is your contact with Blackwater? Would you like to come to the morgue with me? The judge finally fell silent, his face turning ashen. He knew it was useless to say anything now. In just a few words, the trial took a 180-degree turn, all thanks to the man from the ninth agency. He wore a faint smile on his face. The trial for the murder of Eastside's city councillors is hereby suspended. Defendant Demon Schilder shall return to the MBCC for confinement. The main goal now is to investigate the fraud committed by the city council and weed out Blackwater's infiltration. Lord Blake, please come with me. Emerging as the victor, he slowly strutted over to the judge and gestured for him to leave. You realize now that the conversation 7 days ago and his offer to help was part of a well-planned scheme. The ninth agency took advantage of both you and Demon. The entire trial was just a cover for the ninth agency to overthrow the city council. Why? Demon's voice was hoarse. He should be the center of attention at the trial, but at this moment, the courtroom was chaotic. No one noticed him except you. He sat frozen on the floor, his voice trembling. I'm sorry for your experience, Demon. But your trial has concluded and we have more important things to attend to. What did Vera do? Why did you do this to her? The judge looked over. His face was trimmed, but he still forced himself to croak in defense. It had nothing to do with me. You said you transcribed her testimony. You said you transcribed her testimony. Did you really believe that? It wasn't my decision alone to hand her over to Blackwater. We lost contact with her afterward. But you dared to use her name to fabricate evidence. The judge's face turned ashen. Nobody wanted her dead. It's just that I didn't expect Harma to act so boldly. It's not important anymore. Everything happened so quickly, you saw everything, but there was no time to stop it. Demon broke free from the heavy shackles and pounced on the judge. The next moment, the judge's head fell to the ground with a thud. It took a full 5 seconds for everyone to realize what happened. Demon slumped to the floor like a puppet cut from its string. His pupils lost focus as if his soul had left his body. 8 years later, Demon committed another murder in public. Sorry, I couldn't stop him. And your investigation? It's fine, we got enough justification already. Anyway, thanks for your cooperation. He glanced at the commissioner, paralyzed in fear on the floor, and then at the demon. Demon is an unstable pawn. Please be careful with him. A murder in broad daylight is not easy to placate. You must deal with it appropriately. Otherwise, you won't be able to stop people from talking. I will take care of it. I trust your judgment. Oh, by the way, Miss Langley says hi. The man tipped his hat in respect one last time and left. Next, the FAC official took a deep look at Demon and left silently as well. In the hall, only you, Demon, and a room full of carnage remained. Oh, the first two was kinda boring, but the third and fourth, the third one just, man, the stories in these things are fucking awesome, bro. The story, like, oh. MBCC temporary mission log. Time 22112. Location high risk zone. The rust upstream. Goal: find Vera Schilder's remains. Corruptors detected. Number 4. Distance 10 meters. Chief. All on alert. Several black shadows sprung out from the ruins. Bang! Demon grabbed the corruptor, who jumped out first by the throat and slammed it to the ground. The sharp edge of his shield snapped its neck. The headless corruptor twitched a few times and then stopped moving. Find cover and shoot. Under the cover of firepower, 2 corruptors found it hard to advance and were quickly riddled with bullets. Yet the last corruptor dodged the guards ahead and lunged towards you. Demon was the first to react. He used his shield to slam the corruptor into the nearest concrete pillar, causing it to vomit out its internal organs. The building in the rust no man's land had for long fallen into disrepair and simply could not withstand such an impact. The dilapidated six-story building came crashing down. Chief, can you hear me? Chief, please respond. Respond to the guard. I can hear you. I'm fine. Demon dusted off the debris from his body, stood up and stared at you without saying a word. Demon is fine too. We will be there in 20 minutes. Please wait where you are. Please don't move. Those sounds probably alerted all the corruptors in the area. Demon didn't continue, but you know what he meant. To wait where you were equaled waiting for death. We need to keep moving. With him around, we won't be in grave danger. But you knew he wanted to say that the person next to you was the gravest danger of all. But there were no other options now. I'll go to the destination first. You guys go back to the pickup point and wait for me. Copy that. You turned off the radio headset and waved to Demon. They don't seem to trust you. They're right. No matter what he said, Demon's personal abilities were trustworthy. Though the mission had been mad with countless dangers, it was reassuring to have Demon around. Though he became a thinner and gloomier after the trial, he was still the former captain of the FAC Special Task Force, renowned throughout the city. We still have a mission to complete. Demon did not deny it this time. He raised his shield and walked up to you. He had applied to take part in this mission himself. There was only one goal to the mission: to find the remains of Demon's sister, Vera Schilder. You pushed open a corroded iron door and entered the sanitarium. The foul odor of dead bodies mixed with the putrid stench of mold seared your eyes. In the corridor ahead, there were more than a dozen decomposed corpses on the floor. There were corruptors and there were humans. This was the place. 2 months ago, agents from the 9th Agency came to this place. They found what they wanted. However, some also died here. When agents from the 9th Agency asked the judge to identify the body, I thought they should have brought Hela along. That's not their responsibility. Demon crouched down and prodded the severely decomposed corpse of a combatant. No risk of becoming a corruptor. He took off his cloak and put it over the corpse. My man. The elevator had long been out of use. You went all the way up the stairs and finally came to the door of the room you were looking for. The dust in front of the door was thinner than in other places. The whole corridor was covered with footprints, especially in front of the door to this room. You knew you were in the right place. Demon put his hand on the doorknob. For the first time, you saw hesitation and withdrawal on his face. Shall I wait for you outside for a bit? Demon shook his head and twisted open the doorknob. The room behind the door was only about 8 square meters in size. There was a small skeleton curled up on a grey bed by the window. Vera. He limped over and knelt down in front of the bed. His movements were so gentle as if fearing to wake up the sleeping girl. Demon wanted to say something, but couldn't open his mouth. He crouched beside the bed as sunlight leaked through the cracks of the abandoned building, illuminating the dust flying among the shredded beams. The time passed bit by bit, but Demon said nothing. The blood-curdling shrieks of the corruptors were getting closer and closer. You had to remind him. We should go now. Demon turned around and looked at you. I know. He packed the bones into his backpack piece by piece. He also took the dusty notebook by Vera's pillow. After finishing, he got up and walked towards you. Sorry to keep you waiting. It's alright, I understand. Demon forced a smile. He looked so fragile, with gaunt eyes weeping nothing but exhaustion and sorrow. All around you, the shrieks of the corruptors grew even denser. Let's go! You and Demon traversed the crumbling ruins for quite some time. Corruptors were appearing more and more frequently. Luckily, your destination was already quite close. You could already see the lights of the syndicate. Be careful, behind you. Bang. Demon turned sideways and knocked down the corruptor behind him. Squeezed between the ground and the shield, its head exploded, spurting foul-smelling grey liquid onto the ground. A shard from the corruptor's skull sliced open in his hand, leaving a bloody wound. This wave is temporarily over. Thank you, Demon. Contrary to your joyful relief, Demon dealt with his wound calmly, but without a hint of relief or joy in his voice. Things are bad. What are you worried about? The guards have arrived at the pickup point. We are very close to the borders of no man's land. With your strength, we can definitely evacuate successfully. What are you worried about? Demon looked up at the sky. The city lights tinted the hazy clouds, ominously yellow, blocking out the stars. Yes, very close. And that's the worst possible thing. What is happening? Gazing at the lights of the syndicate neighborhoods, you suddenly realized what Demon meant. The corruptors will follow us all the way to the city. A lot of people will die. I'll alert the FAC right now. Right away, they'll send help. There's no more time. How far is the nearest residential area? You glanced at the satellite map. 2.5 kilometers away. The distance is too short. By the time the FAC gets here, the streets would be awash with blood. They won't make it in time. Demon quietly removed his backpack and took out the notebook. He then gave the backpack to you. What are you doing? Please bury Vera for me. He put the shield on the ground and pulled out the dagger from his waist. Have you gone mad? I will try to slow down the corruptors. Go find the bureau's guards and evacuate nearby residents. Wait until the FAC arrives before clearing things here. Demon raised his head to look at the debris around him. The syndicate has lost too much already. Someone needs to protect what's left. You'll die. The whole thing started with my selfish desires. I have no excuse to flee. There was no regret in his voice, only relief. For someone like me, dying here is the easy way out. There are bureau staffs nearby. I'll bring them to help you. It's no use, there are so few of them that they won't even be able to form a line of defense. They'd only distract me here. But go. Demons called again, but unlike in the past, you weren't frightened. Wait for me, I'll be back. Watching the chief, who restrained him, leave, a smile appeared on Demon's face. Don't come back, it's not worth it, he muttered to himself, shaking off the blood from his left hand. I'm all alone again. This is for the best. This is for the best. After all, I couldn't protect anything. Big monsters always hunt in groups, otherwise they wouldn't be able to kill their prey. They are ignorant, short-sighted, and beholden to their instincts. That's why they are easy to control. That was the knowledge Demon had summed up back at the special task force. To this day, the same logic still applied. Demon roared and slammed into the corruptor in front of him. The slender monster snapped into two, its blood and guts spilling onto the ground in a sticky mess. The shrieks around him did not stop. This was the terrifying thing about corruptors. They didn't fear death. They were beholden to their instincts. Come at me, you monsters! In the darkness, endless waves of corruptors surged forth, baring their fangs and claws to pounce on the lone warrior, before being torn to bits and washing away downstream. In this carnival of slaughter, everything that moved became a sacrifice. Vera, come. It's Abel. She looks like Nox. The man waved to the little girl. Beside him stood a boy. From now on, he is your older brother. Be nice to each other. The little girl came over, but the boy stepped back instinctively. He didn't belong here. He was just a gangster from the syndicate who jacked Abel's car, and he killed people before. But the little girl still walked over and took his hand. Demon, my brother. She smiled sweetly. Let's go home together. Swish. The sharp claws left bloody gashes on Demon's face. He woke up with a start, and just for a moment he lost focus. The wounds on his body were increasing and his eyes became a bit blurry. That was just a mirage from the past. Demon kept warning himself it was dangerous to be distracted during battle, and the chief needed more time to evacuate the townsfolk. He couldn't fall down just yet. Thanks to the power of Sinner, his left hand healed, leaving a shallow scab. Demon tore off the scab. The pain stimulated his numb nerves, bringing about much needed sobriety. I won't make this kind of mistake again. Demon, you need to eat. Scars zigzagged across the boy's naked torso. He blushed and quickly put on his shirt. What's that on your body? Daddy says that you used to have a hard life and that your former daddy beat you. Yes, it's true. But don't worry, my daddy is the best daddy in the whole wide world. He never scolds me unless I eat something bad and get a tummy ache. I'll protect both you and Dad. From now on, no one will dare bully you. Demon, are you leaving? The boy nodded somewhat awkwardly. He deliberately chose such an early hour to leave because he didn't know how to face parting with them. I'm going to the East Side Police Academy, Abel. Dad is very busy. I should learn something to help shoulder his burden. Police Academy, Abel. Dad is very busy. I should learn something to help shoulder his burden. I know. The little girl sounded a bit aggrieved. But I don't want you to go. The boy smiled and patted her head. Don't worry, I'll be back soon. I'm sorry, Vera. I came back too late. Demon touched the notebook in his breast pocket, muttering to himself. It was the last part of his body that had not been soaked with blood. Vera, I should have had a chat with you before I committed all these crimes. Demon stood upright in the pool of blood. He was exhausted, and even the armor on his body became heavy from the blood stain. He needed to rest, if only for a little while. Perhaps he needed to chat with someone, even if it were a hallucination. Demon closed his eyes, entering a world of boundless darkness. A young man with a backpack slung over his shoulder knocked on the door hesitantly, but no one responded. A young man with a backpack slung. Oh, he's the guy. He's Demon. A young man with a backpack slung over his shoulder knocked on the door hesitantly, but no one responded. When he twisted the doorknob, he found that the door was unlocked. The house was dark. Bam. Happy birthday. The lights in the house suddenly lit up and colorful ribbons rained down from the ceiling. A young girl stood behind him with a cake in her hands. The young man turned around, a warm smile on his face. Thank you. As he removed the ribbons stuck to the girl's head, he nodded towards the man on the sofa. The man stood up from the sofa. He aged a lot these past few years. But seeing his adopted son return home, the wrinkles on his face seemed to smooth out. I have good news. It's not confirmed yet, but based on your recent performance, you should be promoted to the captain of the special task force next month. Really? The young girl's eyes widened in surprise. You're the best big brother in the whole wide world. Demon, I heard that someone wants to hurt Dad. Is it true? The young man was tired, but after hearing the girl's anxious question, he still answered with a smile. Yeah, Dad stepped on a few toes this election. The young girl's face filled with worry. What do we do? Don't worry, I'll protect him. After a silent pause, the girl forced a smile. Yes, Demon, I believe you. You shouldn't have believed me. Demon used his last bit of strength to snap the neck of the corruptor in front of him. He finally succumbed to exhaustion, falling to his knees in a pool of blood. The surrounding ruins dissolved and the demon returned to the tiny 8 square meter room. I let you down. Vera's remains rested there silently, unresponsive to demon. I'm a coward, a good-for-nothing piece of trash. I don't deserve your trust. I couldn't protect Abel and I couldn't protect you. A finger pressed the man's dry, chapped lips. Behind him, a pair of arms wrapped around his neck, and the cold touch made him feel familiar and at ease. The next instant, Demon stood up suddenly and let out a blood-curdling roar. Demon lifted the corruptor who had snuck up on him in mid-air. Its shattered spine and innards washed away the dream-like hallucinations. The notebook in his breast pocket fell out, landing on the last page. Dear brother, I hope you are well. It's been a year and I still don't know what this place is. Every day, dear brother, I hope you are well. It's been a year and I still don't know what this place is. Every day new faces come and old faces disappear. Every day I look out the window hoping to find you in the crowd, but I'm also glad that you're not among them. Please forgive me for thinking this way. It's probably because I haven't seen you for so long. Today, when I saw the sunset outside the window, I remembered the first time we met. Dad and I took you home and we walked along the path in front of our house. You didn't speak, so I could only admire the scenery along the way. There was a beautiful sunset that day, just like today. Sorry, I may not be able to survive much longer. I don't know what others think, but I want you to know that no matter what you're doing, no matter what they say, I believe you. I will always be grateful to have met you. May you spend every day in peace and happiness. Your sister Vera. The man raised his head, tears running down his cheeks. Vera. He uttered that name one last time. All the dreams and memories disappeared. Thank you. Corruptors' corpses piled high all around him, and the terrifying shrieks gradually fell silent. I did it. There was nothing left. Corruptors' violence, promises, warmth, his once beloved and his trusting family. There was nothing left. Everything scattered to the freezing night wind along with the rust. Demon smiled and closed his eyes. He slumped to the ground, his armor landing with a dull thud. Wake up. Yes. Thankfully, he's not dead. Demon, wake up. I told you I'd be back. You can't die yet. You made it. When reinforcements arrived, the demon had lost almost half his blood. Had it been an ordinary person, they would have never survived this. But it took Demon only 1 week to recover from this. After that, he resumed his duty and started participating in intense combat. After this incident, something inside him seems to have changed. He's not lonely. Oh, that story was the best story. Man, Demons was the best. Oh. Alright, I guess we can
Are you here to see me, Chief? Feel free to take the time to look at the new supplies, too.
What's her name?
Chief, I managed to get the goods on the boss at the supply office. It's time to extort some money from him. Have you eaten yet, Chief? Not yet? Great! Me neither. Why don't you treat me to dinner?
Oh, sure.
Chief, I managed to get the goods on the boss at the supply office. It's time to extort some money from him. Ah, how
mesmerizing is the sheen. Ah, how mesmerizing. Dinner. I'm planning on upgrading Hecate. Luvia is good and all, but then Hecate is probably better than Luvia to build first. Yep. Hecate is better. I should stack up on this. No luck. That's it for interrogation. I'll do some broken front lines. No, Oblivion pick. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Don't crash, don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. Nice.
Death is your only destination.
You are all done for.
Kinda fishy though, why it's slow. Oh. I'll just activate this.
And the Legion.
Is she gonna die?
Did we do well?
That was a blunder. Oh no. Thank God she's still alive.
dance begin.
You are all done.
Back off! Don't come close! Death is your only destination.
I am the Legion.
That was fun.
All thanks to Invincible Me.
All thanks to Invincible Me. All thanks to the Invincible Me.
You are all done.
I can take my time.
Let the dance begin.
Death is your only destination.
I am the Legion.
You forced me to do—
You are all done.
Oh no.
Let the dance begin. Take care of them.
Alright, that was a mistake. I know how to do it.
Let the dance begin.
Death is your only destination.
I am the Legion.
You are all done for.
How did I complete this? It's fucking hard.
I am the Legion.
Let the dance begin.
Oh no, 3 steps left.
Death is your only destination.
I am the Legion.
Back off! Don't come close!
You are all done.
Let the dance begin.
You forced me to do this!
You forced me to do this.
I am the Legion.
Death is your only destination.
Ooh. I thought the
You
slimes would
messed
be
with the
coming.
wrong person.
Whenever I'm lost in reverie,
Let's see. Let's just do it.
I'll relieve them of pain.
Time for a little exercise.
Oh, I have to go.
I can hear it.
I'm here.
Death is your only destination.
You forced me to do this!
You've gotten too close.
You are all done.
You forced me to do this!
I am the Legion.
Ta-da. Magic team is probably better here, but I don't have. Oh no, I forgot.
You are all done.
Let the dance. You've gotten too close.
All right.
You forced me to do this!
Death is your only destination.
Nope.
I am the Legion.
You are all done.
You've gotten too close.
All right.
You forced me to do this!
Done. I'm not gonna do this level so much because my magic teams are not that good.
Whenever I'm lost in reverie, you'll show up and pull me back to reality.
Collect 100. What was I thinking to do? Alright guys, that is for today. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, please subscribe. Just joking. But really, it helps. And bye.